Alright, so today's video I'm going to talk to you about how I am building relationship with banks so they can, in the future give me or lend me a lot of money. And essentially giving me money because of course I'm going to be putting that money to use, and that money is going to pay itself, or it's going to pay for more money itself, right? It's going to be, my money is going to be working. Whether I'm going to be putting the money for real estate or some equipment for my business that then is going to pay off, or a key employee that is very expensive but he's going to give me, he's going to pay in dividends in the future or something like that. This is the way that I'm doing that, and I'm going to show you, real practical steps. I'm going to make this video as short as possible. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm opening a lot of credit cards and a lot of savings accounts. Okay, so a lot of people might find this weird. A lot of people might find this, that is, I don't know, like, why would you have a lot of credit cards? Just have one, for example. Be simple, be minimalistic, right? But in this case, when it comes to like specifically business, in my opinion or in my experience, is that what you really want here is to, or the reason why I'm doing this myself is I'm building I'm opening a lot of cards. So I'm starting to build an individual relationship with each bank or each, financial institution, basically. So I know that my score, my credit, my credit score is going to be universal, right? It's going to be built or destroyed by any single of those. However, if I have a individual history with each bank institution, then in the future I'm gonna be able to come with them and say, hey, listen, like, my score is very, very high, and I've been building a history with your with your institution for 10 years now, and I've never missed a payment. I've always been very good. I've been using my card in my credit limit less than 30% a year, asking me a month, my monthly allowance every single month. I've been paying it on time. In the case of the savings accounts, I've been putting money diligently in my account. No problems here. I haven't been a bad customer of yours. Therefore, Mr. Bank, please lend me a lot of money, right? I could do that. And if you have an individual, relationship with each bank, when you really need money, I'm not talking about like something like, and God forbid that this doesn't happen, but like maybe you have an accident or something. If you really need the money, you can, go, or even if you have a good project, real estate project, or you need a lot of inventory or something for your business, right? That is proven to work. You just need to put more money, right? That you're not taking really a big risk, but it's going to work out, right? That happens whether it's an emergency or investment that you want to do. You can very simply just go to the bank, each of those banks, and tell them, hello, Mr. Bank, I need $10,000 from you. And then go to the next bank, I need $10,000 from you. And next bank, $10,000 from you, $10,000 from you, $10,000 from you, and then you get $100,000, right? And as opposed to, oh my God, I need a lot of money right now, like in the spot that you realize that, and then you go start building, or open accounts with different bank accounts, because just this one that you've been building the history with for like 10 years can only give you, I don't know, $50,000 in, I don't know, every 6 months or whatever. And then you go for other accounts, and then they give you, hey, listen, you're a new client of us, we can only give you right now or lend you right now $5,000 because you're new to the company. That's what you don't want to happen, or at least that's what I don't like to happen, what I don't want to happen. So building that diversity with different companies, different bank institutions, allow you to be more flexible, and at the end of the day, like, just have a lot of more money, because you are with more companies, and they all trust you because you've been a good customer of theirs, right? Now, I prioritize opening accounts or credit cards or saving accounts in this case, just building a relationship with the bank from banks, actual bank institutions, not supermarkets, because as you know, there are supermarket accounts or supermarket credit cards that you can open to get cashbacks, 2 months, pay it, I don't know what is the name of this. It's like financing stuff from the supermarket and stuff like that. And the reason why I don't really like those supermarket credit cards is because if you in the future need money for something that is not a physical product, maybe you can go and ask them, I need 3 motorbikes for delivery drivers in my company, right? But probably if you have an online business, it's not going to be the case. Maybe for protection of your employees or gifts for your employees, but I see it hardly, because the credit card in the supermarket is not going to give you, as far as I'm concerned right now, I don't think you can go to the supermarket and tell them, please lend me $100,000 or $10,000. I don't think you can go and ask them for money, actual money. I think you can go and ask them for, like credit for purchases inside the supermarket, not real money, right? As opposed to, the actual bank institution that they can actually give you a check for $10,000, for example, or something like that. So I prioritize opening accounts and building relationships with banks that are universal, right? That I can make purchases in any establishment that I want or that I need to, and that I can also get a check to retire or take cash back. To get cash out of the bank, right? That's the first thing. Now, when we think about what is the tasks behind doing that, like what does it actually take to build relationship with 20 banks, it is actually pretty simple. It can translate to a small purchase or usage of your credit each month for years. I mean, we're talking about 10 years or something, right? So the best way that I found myself is just making a kind of big payment. I mean, it all depends on what big means to you, because right now that I'm not very wealthy, big for me might mean very little for you, but for someone who is who's homeless, for me might be my big myself might be this homeless person's extremely big, unimaginable, right? So it all depends on where you are at. So for example, for myself, making a $100 payment, or let me just make the math here real quick. So calculator. So I recently made a payment from an establishment. There's a composting kind of like thing that it just turns or rotates basically, and it's to make compost, like this kind of fertile soil for your plants from organic reservoir that you have in your kitchen, cesspit, stuff like that. It's an amazing thing. I was doing the compost myself, but with this thing is easier and I can do it and it looks better. So it was basically, let me see how much in dollars. It was $105, which is it's not a lot. Certainly it's not a huge investment, but it was something. I mean, I don't go outside just making $100 payments every day, right? That's myself. So because of that, I went and I purchased that. Basically I financed this for 12 months without interest on Amazon. Okay, and I used one of my credit cards. And now for the next month, I'm gonna be paying, or I'm gonna be having that card use credit of that specific card. Now, then I went ahead and I did another payment with another card. In this case was like suspension for my motorbike that was a little bit, burned off for years of use, and it was I think it was $150 at this time. And I went and did a 12 months without interest again for that other credit card. So I got those two credit cards used in a monthly basis for the next year. And then I went for a supermarket card that I have one credit card for a supermarket, and I purchased a razor that I can use for facial hair down there, just overall grooming. Even for when I have here this part where it's just smaller that the usual razor doesn't take, and I purchased that, and waterproof and stuff like that. It's an amazing purchase, and I purchased it on months without interest. Even though I could purchase it, in a single payment basically, but I want to use my credit score, and even though they pay me or it costs me a little more to do the credits, it's fine because I'm going to be using the credit, which is what I actually want in a monthly basis. So that's kind of pretty much what I recommend, is just use your credit with a maybe 12-month payment or thing, or financing for each of those accounts, and then you're gonna slowly but surely be using your credit there, as opposed to making the payments with one-off thing. Okay, Now, once you have that, it starts to get a little bit messy. So because of that, you need to have reminders set in place. So for each account, you're gonna keep track of them in your Google Calendar. For example, I have an amazing feature here on my phone where I got notifications from Google Calendar events, and they just appear in the screen, and it's extremely obvious that you see it. Like, for example, I had to make a payment yesterday, and I saw the notification because it lighted up my phone completely, and it stayed light up for like 5-10 minutes, and then I saw, oh, okay, I need to make this payment, and I went ahead and did it immediately. So what I do personally is I go with each of those cards, I note down the, I don't know what is the specific term in English, but it's basically when you're going to get that statement, basically, by. So I noted all of those dates, and I put them on the calendar in my Google Calendar account. I set them there, and I put of course they're gonna repeat every month, and I have in this part, in this event, notifications for 1 week before, 3 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before, and on the same day at 9 a.m. And then therefore, in that way, I can always get these notifications here on my phone. You can also get reminders from email, stuff like that. And it's such an amazing thing. And of course, I make a habit to every day look at my calendar, because you might realize that you have a payment, and if the notification, you don't see the notification for any reason, you can just go to a calendar and see it there, just to avoid not making the payments on time, which is really devastating from what I've seen. Okay, and once you have that on points, it's extremely easy to make the payments. Like, you can just transfer money from one card or from your overall debit card to pay the statements of all of the credit cards, and that is going to be, it's such an easy task to maintain for maintenance of this, of having all of these cards, but I don't see it as a bad thing. Okay, I would also avoid, if you're having so many, to get a lot of cards that have the yearly fee. Okay, I mean, if you have a lot of money, then that's not a problem for you, but if you don't have a lot of money, like myself, I just go for cards that don't give me or don't ask for yearly fee, and that also don't require a minimum amount to use, of usage every month, or if I do, then I'm gonna have maybe 1 or 2 maximum, and because of course, if you have that, then you require more maintenance for those specific accounts, as opposed to the ones that don't require minimum every month and don't give you or don't ask for a yearly fee. Then those are way better, way easier to manage. But sometimes they come from a lesser kind of like quality bank, basically, or less established bank, right? So having said that, that's all I do right now. I currently have, as I told you, 3 credit cards, and I got 2 saving accounts from other 2 financial institutions that whenever I need, I can get a loan from them. And of course, therefore, I'm making a relationship with that bank specifically, or with those banks specifically. Okay, hopefully you found this very valuable, and I wish you a lot of success with this, and for you to be very diligent in the payments, because it can really pay off in the long term when you actually need it for scaling your business, or getting a car, or a mortgage for your house, or real estate. There's so many uses or use cases for the money you can purchase or you can get a loan from. But I wish you the best with that. Goodbye.